On the early morning of March 12, 2022 at 1 a.m., a suspicious sack at the side of the road on King Street was recognized by one of the residents of Barangay Manuyo Dos in the city of Las Piñas, Philippines. Usually, if someone throws away trash, they would put it away from the road. But this sack was incorrectly disposed, as if someone throws it in a rush. The sack was big, and according to police, this particular type of sack is used to store ice. At 6 a.m., the white sack was finally reported by the concerned citizen who went to the barangay police station to report what she believed was a very suspicious sack. When a couple of barangay police officers arrived at the scene, they checked what is really inside the sack. One officer tore the sack using a knife. He stumbled to find human hair. The hair was long and curly and belonged to an unidentified woman who was badly beaten. Police recognized that the woman doesn't have any wounds on her body. Her wounds were only on her head, face, and lips. She also has black eyes and was wearing a black t-shirt and only panties on her bottom. According to police, the cause of death is blunt traumatic injuries to the head. It is either when someone smashed her head to the floor or when someone hit her head with an object. They also added that there were indications she was hit in her back too. Police didn't know who the woman was at first, but when one resident from the area asked to check the victim, she realized it was her sister. The dead woman's name is Seisha Claro, 37 years old, who lives near the barangay she was found. Seisha was a caring mother of 6. According to one of her daughters, Seisha was used to being beaten by their father. In 2020, Seisha finally separated from her husband. At first, Seisha's daughter did not believe the horrifying news about her mother because it was just yesterday that she and her sister saw her. They were having a catch-up chat then. According to her, her mother was happy. When Las Piñas police started to investigate Seisha's death, they noticed some CCTV cameras in the area and went to inspect them thoroughly. In the CCTV footage at 1 a.m. March 12th, a pedicab can be seen driving along the area, then dropping the white sack at the side of the road. The pedicab driver then swiftly left the area. If checked closely, the driver didn't get off the pedicab to drop the white sack, but it's noticeable that there is someone who kicked the white sack from inside the pedicab. According to police, the driver intentionally covered the number of his pedicab, causing them to have trouble identifying him. So they tried to trace the route where the pedicab driver passed by. They checked all the CCTVs in Barangay Manuyo Dos until they found one that is helpful to the case. In the video captured a few minutes before midnight on March 12th, a red pedicab can be seen passing by with a body number of 122 in Street Samuel, a couple of meters away from King Street, where the white sack was dumped. At midnight, the red pedicab exited Samuel Street. This time, the body number of the pedicab is covered. The police confirmed that the red pedicab seen on Samuel Street and the pedicab that dropped the white sack on King Street in Barangay Manuyo are the same. The police wasted no time. They asked around the area to determine the identity of the driver of the pedicab with body number 122. A couple of pedicab drivers in the area identified the driver as Mark Anthony Rahel, 31 years old, a resident of Barangay CAA in the city of Las Piñas. He was classified as a person of interest by the police. Police immediately went to Mark Anthony's house. They saw the red pedicab with the body number 122 and asked if he is the driver of that pedicab, and he answered yes. He was brought to the police station for questioning. Mark Anthony stated that a man named Albert hired him on that night of March 11th. Albert Okia is the current live-in partner of Seisha since June 2021. According to Seisha's daughter, that in a couple of months, Seisha was often beaten by Albert if she is not able to give him money for gambling and alcohol. On the night of March 10th, one night before her tragic fate, Seisha's daughter learned that her mother had stayed at her friend's house. She went to check on her and found Seisha having a fever since Albert had beaten her again. She was covered with bruises and had a black eye. Seisha's daughter said she advised her mother to report Albert to the police, but Seisha disagreed because of fear that her children would also be in danger. At 4 p.m. on March 11th, Seisha visited her daughters to ask for a prepaid load and food. This time, Seisha feels better. They complimented her on her new flip-flops. Seisha seems very happy. According to her, she will be moving to a new place and will finally leave that woman beater Albert. She told her daughter she was just going to get her belongings from her house and leave Albert for good. Her daughters have no idea that this is the last time they will see their mother alive. According to police, when Seisha arrived home, Albert was also there drinking alcohol with a friend. They argued, and Albert ended up killing Seisha. After realizing Seisha is dead, he asks his friend to help him put her inside a white sack. After that, Albert went out to get a pedicab. At first, the pedicab driver refused to drive him because his shift was over and he was heading home, but Albert threatened him, so he complied. Albert told him to drive to the house. When arriving in front of Albert's house, a white sack was brought on board by Albert and one unidentified man. He asked Albert what was inside the sack, and Albert said, "It's a person. Don't ask more questions." Albert told him to find a dark place to dump the sack. The unidentified man ordered him to cover the body number of his pedicab and stayed behind while Albert got into the pedicab and instructed him what to do during the ride. They found an area without light at King Street. There, Albert kicked the white sack out of the pedicab and left immediately. Police charged Albert, Mark Anthony, and the unidentified man with murder. Police also learned that Albert had a pending warrant of arrest for the murder of his previous partner.